If there's one question I get asked a lot, it's this one. Like, I see this question on threads all the time. Honestly, it's starting to feel like it's comment bait. You know, when people ask really obvious questions to just get people to answer them. But it's a very valid question. Which email provider should I use? Let's talk about some of the most popular email providers out there so you can decide which one is right for you.
You've got mail. You've got.
Before we dive in, I really want to talk about a few things you should know before choosing a platform. So first thing to know, the best email platform is the one you'll use. So if you are on an email platform and you are enjoying using it and you send emails and you're consistent with them and you're seeing results, just stay where you're happy. But if you're not enjoying the email provider you're using, or you're just getting started with email and you just really aren't quite sure where to start, this is going to be a perfect video for you. Another thing to note is that all email platforms have pros and cons. I wish the perfect platform existed. Like, truly, I really do. So much so that my email friends and I actually joke about starting our own platform. So I guess if you know a good developer and someone who wants to finance us, send them my way. Another thing to keep in mind before you choose a platform, you want to consider what are you going to be using it for. If you are intending to sell a product, you may want to use a different email provider than, say, a service provider. And finally, keep in mind, at the end of the day, this is not who you're marrying. This is not your life partner for eternity. You can always switch platforms without a divorce attorney. So just pick one and get started. And something else, note that I made this video based on what email platforms are like right now in this moment in time. So depending on when you're watching this video, things may have changed. Platforms may make updates, change offerings or pricing. So always check the platforms directly for the most up-to-date information. Let's talk about Flodesk. Flodesk is the platform that I use and love, but I'll be honest with you, before they dropped some new releases about 6 months ago, I was actually starting to outgrow the platform. So if you started on Flodesk and it's been a minute since you've been in there, they've made some pretty big changes that may just change the game for you too. You should know I am a partner with Flodesk, meaning that I have exclusive perks for you. So check the caption for the most up-to-date one. So things I love about Flodesk, they don't nickel and dime you. So what you pay for 10 subscribers or 10,000 subscribers is the same price. To my knowledge, they are the only platform out there that offers this. So it can be really consistent for your marketing budget. It's user-friendly and it's really easy to make your emails look pretty and on brand. While it's not required to have beautifully designed emails for them to be successful, in fact, I've never actually heard anyone say I didn't buy because the email was ugly. It could be important if you are a creative or really just like things to be on brand, or if you'll only use things if they're pretty like me. Not that like I'm pretty, but like that I will only use things if they're never mind. I also find it is very, very easy to get stuff set up in there and the tech isn't too complicated. So I think it's overall a pretty great platform, especially if you're brand new to email. This is actually the platform that got me to fall in love with email. Some cons when it comes to Flodesk are, unfortunately, the analytics are lacking a little bit in comparison to other platforms. So while you do have good analytics, they're just not quite as great as they are in other platforms. Another thing I don't always love about Flodesk is that their workflows are a little bit finicky. So I've had a few times that the workflow, somebody will get stuck inside of it, meaning their email isn't going through, or there's just other little technical glitches. I think they are working on ironing most of those out, and you can email support. So you can get some feedback if you need it. However, I will say that their support system, that's another con, is that it's not the best support system. Is you have to email and wait for a response, whereas a lot of other email platforms do have a built-in chat, which makes getting support a whole lot faster and easier. But overall, I would say that, obviously I use and love Flodesk and I don't have all that many issues with it. I just know that I'm not going to be building these crazy complex funnels. So if that's something you know you're going to have, you may want to consider a different platform. And if you want to give Flodesk a try, I can offer you 50% off of your Flodesk account. Find the link in the description. Lite. I like this platform because it is completely free up to your first 1,000 subscribers. You do have to keep the Lite watermark on the bottom of your emails in the free plan, but I don't really think that's a deal breaker because it's a pretty robust platform, and to my knowledge, they really don't limit you in any other way on the free plan. It's relatively easy to make look nice and it's fairly user-friendly. It can easily grow with you as you grow. And I will say that Lite does have a pretty great online support system, so if you are stuck on something, you can open up a chat and talk with someone directly. Some cons would be if you think you're gonna hit 1,000 subscribers pretty quickly, you may start paying for the platform, but I don't think the platform is all that expensive. And I will say that although I find it somewhat user-friendly, some people do find the layout of the backend a little bit clunky and hard to really make the way they would want it to look. Kit, formerly known as ConvertKit. Now, Kit recently did a rebrand and introduced a new free version of their email platform, which to my knowledge, I think you get about 25,000 subscribers free. So it's a little bit more robust in that way than MailerLite. However, they only give you one sequence for free. So if you're having a welcome sequence and you want to have a sequence when somebody buys a product from you or an offer from you, you can only have one. So keep that in mind when you're going into this platform. However, I would not say that that is a drawback from using this platform. It's easily becoming one of the most popular platforms out there. A lot of people love the way the backend's set up and they really enjoy using it. I find it a little difficult for my brain, and I know a few other business owners who have also found it that way, but it's probably my own neurospiciness. Something I would say that drives me crazy is that when you're setting up an automation, you have to set up the email sequence and the automation separately, which can get kind of confusing if you don't understand how to do that. And honestly, I figure it out just fine once I'm in there. But again, it's just not quite as intuitive as I'm used to inside, say, Flodesk or other email platforms. And I will say that ConvertKit's support is really great. I don't know if they offer this on their free plan, but on a paid plan, you do get access to chat with someone in the tech department. So if you're stuck on something or don't know how to do something, you can just open up the chat and they have a database full of helpful articles, but you can also talk to a real person and they're very nice. It has lots of customization abilities, but learning how to use all of them could be a little overwhelming and it can get confusing in the back end with all the tech. So a pro of Kit is that they have what they call a creator network, which means you can basically refer other people's email lists and they can refer you. So this is pretty cool if you're wanting to use it to grow your list. I've also heard that they have opportunities for you to get sponsorships. So if you're thinking of adding some sort of way to get your email sponsored, I would recommend looking at Kit. So overall, I would say it's a really great platform, but give it a try and make sure that you like the platform and the way it works and see if it's for you. All right, now MailChimp got a bad reputation out there for a few years because they were kind of the only free platform out there at first when people were starting email maybe a decade ago, and they were not very user-friendly at the time. So a lot of people really didn't like being in that platform. It's a platform I started on and I didn't understand how to make it look the way I wanted. But now they've made it a lot more user-friendly and I actually really like MailChimp. So if it's been a few years since you've been in there, I would suggest giving it another go because it might be the right platform for you. So this platform can work great for a service or product-based business. And I think they're still pretty reasonable when it comes to their plans. I honestly haven't looked in a minute, so do take a peek and see if it's the right one for you. Klaviyo. I would really only recommend Klaviyo if you are a product-based business. Now, depending on what you sell, maybe if you sell digital products, Klaviyo could be a good fit for you. I don't find it's the best for service providers because Klaviyo is really set up to be an e-commerce platform. It works great with Shopify. It plugs in really well together and you can set up a lot of your automations between Shopify and Klaviyo really easily. It does have quite a strong learning curve, so you may need to set aside some time to actually learn the platform when you get into it. However, I would say the benefits are well worth learning the platform. It's also a bit more expensive, but that's again because it's doing a lot of the heavy lifting for you. Campaign. Now, I haven't been inside of this platform in years, so I really can't give you a thoughtful review on it. However, I have heard that it is one of the best platforms out there for if you're going to be doing more complicated funnel building or lead generation. But I did just hear recently that they've done a massive price hike. So you may want to look at the pricing and decide if it's the best choice for you. So a few of my email club members also use a platform called Brevo. I have not been inside that platform, so I really can't review it. However, the members that I have that use it seem to really enjoy it. Substack. I could do a whole other video just on Substack versus an email list. Should I? Let me know in the comments. But my understanding is Substack is a lot like a blog meets an email list. Now, I'd probably recommend having both an email list and a Substack, but you could use just Substack. There's some controversy around the owners of the company, so I can't quite decide if I should dive in, but I am dying to test it. So let me know in the comments if you want me to give it a go. But I do know people who use it and swear by it. They just love it. And apparently they've added a lot of community to the platform so you can actually grow your Substack while you are on the platform. So it is kind of cool that you get a piece of a community as well. I really don't know what kind of data they give you inside of Substack, so definitely look into that and make sure it's the data that you need to successfully run your business. So my thoughts are, if Substack will get you emailing regularly, great. Please use that and go forward. But keep in mind, when you want to get into nuances with funnels and things like that, it will be trickier to do inside of Substack. So you may also need a separate email platform. And you can actually have a paid Substack. So you can have a version that people can pay for your content. So that's kind of cool if that's something you're looking for. The other platform that offers the same feature is Beehive. I have never been inside that platform, but again, I know people who use and love it, and it is a pretty cool platform that I feel like is trying to kind of be the rival to Substack. Okay, so the main differences between Beehive and Substack. I would say with Beehive, you can use that as your email provider because they give you a lot of the same data and information that you get inside of any other email provider. To my knowledge, I've not been inside it, but that is what I understand from the research I've done. Now with Substack, you don't get the same email list. So I would recommend having an email list in addition to your Substack, because what you can't do in Substack is you can't have somebody click something and then add them to like a nurture funnel or something to that nature. So I like that you can take them a little bit more on a journey inside of an email list than in theory you can in Substack. Now, we also have the option to use a all-in-one platform. This would be something like Kajabi, Kartra, and even another one called Go High Level. I'm hearing a lot of good things about Go High Level right now. Again, it's another platform I have not had the privilege of being inside of, but I do have a couple email club members who do use it and love it. And I keep hearing the buzz on the street around this platform. I have been inside Kajabi and Kartra. Kajabi, it gets the job done. It's not my favorite email platform because it's a little tricky to make it look good. But honestly, again, if you'll use it and it's what will get you emailing, awesome. And if you host courses, this could be a great all-in-one platform for you, but do run the numbers and make sure it makes sense for your business. As for Kartra, it's very similar to Kajabi in that you can host your courses, even your website, through this platform. I find that it's a little bit too cumbersome in that it has a lot of features inside and then a lot of features that aren't that great. So for instance, they will give you your click rate when you send an email, but they will not tell you what links people are clicking on, which in my mind is kind of like email 101. Like that's data you need. So I don't know why that's not included. They also have a lot of fancy names for things. So when you go in there, it can be really confusing to try and figure out. However, I'm not trying to dissuade you from using it. If it is something you want to host all your platforms on and you want to have your email going through, it will get the job done for you. Okay, so who did I miss? Tell me in the comments and I'll give you my thoughts on them. Otherwise, thanks for watching and happy emailing.
You've got mail.
Oh. Where was I? Oh, I left my water on the desk.